Zombie Tidal Wave, directed by Anthony C. Ferrante, is a wild blend of B-movie horror and disaster film, leaning heavily on the absurdity of its premise. Starring Ian Ziering, this film channels the campy energy of his earlier Sharknado series and throws in a tidal wave of zombies for good measure. The movie opens with an eerie scene deep beneath the ocean, where a strange phenomenon seems to be stirring. An undersea tremor disturbs an ancient, unknown toxic leak, and we get a glimpse of long-buried corpses that have been preserved underwater for centuries. This unknown force seems to awaken the dead, setting the stage for the carnage to come. We then meet our protagonist, Hunter Shaw Ian Ziering, a rugged and experienced fisherman who lives in a small coastal town. Shaw, who has a history of rescuing the townspeople from danger, is a loner with a tragic past. He is haunted by the loss of his wife, who drowned years ago, leaving him emotionally scarred and detached. Life in the coastal town seems routine, with tourists enjoying the beaches and locals going about their business. Shaw is preparing for a peaceful day out on his boat when strange occurrences begin. He notices strange debris washing ashore, along with odd electrical disturbances on his boat. A sudden, ominous shift in the tide hints that something catastrophic is about to happen. Meanwhile, a group of divers, led by a local named Ray, stumbles upon something terrifying while investigating a strange underwater disturbance. They discover human bodies preserved underwater, but before they can escape, they are attacked by zombies that have been awakened by the disturbance. These aquatic zombies, reanimated by some mysterious force, drag the divers into the depths, marking the first casualties of the coming apocalypse. The zombies soon emerge from the sea, attacking the beach and nearby docks. The townspeople, caught completely off guard, are overwhelmed by the grotesque sight of waterlogged, decaying zombies rising from the water. These zombies are not the slow, shuffling kind. They are fast, aggressive, and relentless. Hunter Shaw, witnessing the chaos from his boat, springs into action, rescuing survivors and fighting off zombies with whatever he can find. Shaw's expertise in dealing with natural disasters comes into play as he starts organizing a defense against the zombie horde. Armed with a harpoon gun and makeshift weapons, he battles the zombies alongside his friends Tommy Eric Chikashi Linsbickler, a fellow fisherman, and Jada Trey Cassidy, a medical professional. Just as the survivors think they've gained some control over the situation, things escalate drastically. A massive tidal wave, triggered by the undersea disturbances, approaches the town. The tidal wave doesn't just threaten to flood the town, it's carrying hundreds, if not thousands, of waterborne zombies within it. The idea of a zombie tidal wave becomes horrifyingly literal. In a breathtaking and ridiculous sequence, the tidal wave crashes into the town, spreading destruction and unleashing a fresh wave of zombies upon the already struggling survivors. The storm-like chaos rips through the streets, with zombies pouring out of the water, attacking the town from all sides. Hunter Shaw, realizing that the town will not survive another wave, leads the remaining survivors to higher ground. They take refuge in an abandoned lighthouse on a nearby cliff. The group consists of Shaw, Jada, Tommy, Ray's daughter Kiro, NGT Adora Dick, and several townspeople, each fighting for survival. As they barricade themselves inside the lighthouse, Shaw pieces together that the zombies originated from an undersea chemical spill, possibly tied to a nearby military base or government experiment gone wrong. The chemicals not only preserved the dead, but also reanimated them when disturbed by the tremor. Meanwhile, the survivors are faced with a desperate situation. The zombies have surrounded the lighthouse, and they must fight their way through waves of undead to reach safety. In this portion of the movie, we get a series of intense and inventive action sequences, with Shaw and the group using whatever tools they can find to fend off the zombies. At one point, Shaw uses an electrified fishing net to fry a group of zombies, showing the creativity and absurdity that the film embraces. The climax of the movie centers around Shaw's decision to take a final stand against the zombie menace. After discovering that the chemical leak is still active and continuing to revive the dead, Shaw hatches a plan to stop the source of the outbreak. The survivors split into two groups, one tasked with finding a boat to escape the island, and the other heading to the source of the contamination. Shaw leads the latter group, determined to stop the undead at their origin. They dive deep into the ocean in a dangerous sequence and find the source of the spill. Armed with explosives, Shaw and his team plant bombs on the leaking underwater vessel. With time running out and zombies closing in from all sides, Shaw and his team must race against the clock. The battle reaches a fever pitch as the zombies begin swarming the group underwater, attacking in the murky depths. Shaw fights off the zombies with underwater harpoons while setting off the explosives, which finally destroy the contaminated vessel. The explosion triggers a massive underwater detonation, creating a shockwave that wipes out the remaining zombies, both underwater and on land. Shaw and his team barely manage to escape the blast and swim back to the surface, where they reunite with the rest of the survivors. As the tide begins to recede, the town lies in ruins, but the zombie outbreak appears to be contained. The survivors, though battered and bruised, have made it through the worst. The film closes with a sense of bittersweet victory as Shaw looks out over the ocean, knowing that though they survived this horror, the scars will remain. While Zombie Tidal Wave doesn't take itself too seriously, it offers enough thrills, over-the-top action, and humor to entertain fans of campy horror. The film plays up its absurd premise, embracing the ridiculousness of zombies emerging from the ocean via a tidal wave. Ian Ziering's performance as the hero, Hunter Shaw, carries the movie, and his chemistry with the rest of the cast helps maintain the film's lighthearted tone despite the horrific nature of the plot. The blend of disaster film tropes with zombie horror gives Zombie Tidal Wave a unique niche within the genre, and while it doesn't break new ground, it delivers exactly what its audience expects: zombies, action, and a whole lot of fun. Alright guys, that wraps up our deep dive into Zombie Tidal Wave. I mean, who would have thought the day would come when we'd be talking about zombies literally riding a tidal wave to terrorize a small coastal town? Last, but hey, that's exactly why we love these over-the-top B-movie games, right? It's pure, unfiltered fun, and sometimes that's exactly what we need. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a lot more crazy, off-the-wall movie recaps and reviews coming your way, so you definitely don't want to miss out. And hey, if you've got any suggestions for other wild movies you want me to cover, whether it's a horror flick, disaster movie, or even something that's just plain bizarre, drop it in the comments below. I'm always up for a challenge, and I love hearing what you guys think. Also, shout out to all the zombie fans out there. What did you think of Zombie Tidal Wave? Did it live up to its wacky premise, or do you think it should have stayed buried at sea? Let's get the conversation going down in the comments. Before we sign off, quick reminder to ring that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I drop my next video. Trust me, we've got some seriously crazy content lined up that you won't want to miss. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay safe, stay spooky, and I'll catch you in the next one.